Welcome to Timelines, January 7th. We've got Rick Martin. Rick, welcome to Timelines.
That's awesome to be here, Bill. Rick Martinez. Don't forget the Ez.
Oh, yeah, Rick Martinez. I got to say Martinez. I had a lot of friends. I had a roommate at West Point, last name Martinez. Martinez brothers. They're from Puerto Rico.
Hey, you can call me Ricky Martin if you want, though.
Ricky Martin.
I think I'm better looking, though.
So, Rick, where are you coming in from today?
I'm in my home office here in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. Are you a native San Antonian?
I am not. I am a native Southern cowboy from Los Angeles.
Oh, that's a big transition. What brought you to San Antonio from Los Angeles?
My parents. I've been here since I was a teenager in Texas, but I go back to California a lot, often.
We're in Southern Cal or in California.
LA mostly, specifically, if you want to get real specific, to the Hotel Irwin on Venice Beach. That is like my most my most favorite place to be.
Yeah, I saw the LA River on the TV. I guess we could go kayaking right now.
Yeah, they're getting some rain finally.
So tell us about, what do you do? What's your business? How long have you been doing it?
You know, what I do is I support my wife. So I've done so many things, Bill, that the honest truth is that right now I'm taking a back seat and I am supporting my wife, and she is the face. But I used to own a staffing company. We actually, I think you'll appreciate this because I was an Army nurse, but I was a federal contractor. So our company staffed military hospitals all over the country, and I sold that 3 years ago. So been involved in a variety of businesses, and it was the nurse to entrepreneur transition was one of the best ones in my life, actually.
So how long were you an Army nurse and a veteran?
So I actually joined when I flunked out of college back in the late 80s, and was active duty for a few years as a private, and some of the best times of my life because I grew up really fast. And I was reactivated in 2006 since I was already a registered nurse. At that time, I was a reservist, and I was activated, and I served at Walter Reed for 18 months in 2006 and 7. So total active time, Bill, was only about maybe 5 years total, and then about 5 years of reserve time.
Right. And you're out now?
I'm out now, yes.
So you had, what, 10 years?
Maybe. That might even be pushing it. So yeah, I would say maybe probably under 10 years.
So you're an entrepreneur, but I got to ask you, why did you get out of the reserve? Why didn't you stay in?
You know, I went in right after 9/11, and I was already out. I was totally out. I mean, I joined in 88, so I was totally out, and my business was thriving. My wife and I's business, our company was thriving, and it was just this. I think a lot of people at that time were compelled to want to do something, and I was a trauma nurse. I still am, and I wanted to be able to give my skill to where it was needed. So I put my hand back up, Bill, and I was activated just for a year and a half, and I stayed a reservist just through a short term, and I was commissioned at that time. So yeah, I just wanted to go in to do my part. It wasn't for a new career move per se.
That's nice. So you started out enlisted, active duty, reserve, and then you got your commission. Did you have to go through a officer candidate school?
Well, you know, here's the thing: is that I started officer training when I was a reservist when I first got out in the 90s, and because I was a registered nurse, it's like being a physician. You're automatically commissioned.
Right. Okay, got you. That's not bad. And I know there's a lot of need for nurses, especially in the last few years or during the surge, 2007 and 8 and 9.
No doubt.
Yeah, there's a lot of work out there with the surge. So that brings us to what happened to your business when you went back on active duty.
You know what happened is this. So I think one of the questions that a lot of business owners have is how to transition from the leadership role and put that in other people's hands. And when Uncle Sam served me my papers to go, I didn't have a choice. I had to hand the reins over to new leadership like right away. And the long and short of it, Bill, is the company grew like explosively while I was activated. So maybe that says something about me, but we were already on a growth path, but we brought in professional leadership and then my wife and you know, running the show. We grew exponentially in those few years.
So that brings us today. What are you doing today? I'm looking at your website, bizacademyonline.com. Is that right one?
Yeah. So I had done a lot, you know, it's a jump, but real quick. So while we were, our staffing company we founded that in 2001 in February. And it's still around today. And in that 15-year period, it was, I did my 18 months and opened up some CrossFit gyms, started a t-shirt company, food company. So we'd done a lot. And I had a moment a few years ago, and we just decided that we sold it all. Had a real big life transition, and I've been teaching entrepreneurship. So I've been a facilitator / trainer, and I've just had this great opportunity to travel all over the world and lead groups of entrepreneurs on how to build and scale to and through $1 million. And so that's what I've been doing. And you said you're on Biz Academy. Here's the fact, Bill, is I just got tired of all the travel alone. So I consolidated a lot of what I've learned, let's just say some wisdom and real business tactics, and I put it in an online course. And we launched that we launched it in November of last year. Oh,
so you built an online course too. That's hard.
Yes. It was hard.
I'm trying to do that right now. I have the number 2 WordPress show in the country, in the world. It's called WP Tonic, and I had programmers come to me to help develop it. And yet it is really tough to get everything you need to get online and do it right.
It is.
Wow.
It was not easy, but it was, I would say it's worth it.
So when did you start the online course, and how long has it been up?
We literally, we started building it. I started producing the content mid 2015. Mm-hmm. And we did our soft launch, kind of a Jeff Walker style launch, and did that in November, December. And the course, actually, we are, as we speak right now, live. Tonight is our final course call. We have a group call once a week, and this week was our final module. It was module 6, and tonight at 7 p.m. is our final group call with, we have a bunch of people in the course, so tonight we end it. But we started it mid last year. We fully launched it out to the public December, and launched it, closed it, and tonight we wrap it up.
Interesting. I just interviewed Stephen Key for the second time. He lives about 35 minutes from me up in Lake Tahoe on the lake. And he's InventRight. And his whole life he's been an inventor. We actually lived in the same city for 25 years. I didn't know it. I found out when I was in Afghanistan when I read his book. So I looked him up when I came home, but he does similar to what you're doing. And he used to have like a 9-month course, and he got some younger folks around him. He put it down to 2 months. To get people through the process.
Dang.
And he tried Evergreen, and he went to where people need to have some help and get through things. So you coach people through. What's the format of your course?
Format is really simple. So it's 6 weeks, 6 modules. The essence of it is really, if I could speak kind of in marketing lingo, it's traffic conversion and sales. Mm-hmm. So we talk about how to generate traffic through online scalable mediums, how to convert, convert them into customers, raving fans, and then continue making sales. So it's one released module every Monday, and then we have a group call on Thursday nights. And that's it. I mean, I'm a big believer in simplicity, because I just want to keep it simple.
Okay. So what was the biggest challenge getting this course up and running?
The biggest challenge was, what it was, is understanding how to get all the technological pieces to fit together, and really try to find the ones that were going to work best for what I was trying to accomplish. And there was a lot out there, so much.
So it's like a moving target, that's for sure.
Yes. And then Bill, you know what? It's like once somebody decides on, we're going to use this tool or this system, somebody launches a brand new one, and it's crazy how fast things move. Mm-hmm.
I was working on I believe in the podcasting world. First of all, to create a podcast, there's about 100 things you have to do, 100 steps. None of them are overly complicated, but you have to hit each 100. So if you miss one of those, you have to go back and fix it or get it in place. And then you tune it and get better. So I started testing out doing podcasts, not a podcast, but creating them like podcasts, but putting them up on YouTube, which is a lot easier for folks. And I did a couple courses, and not courses, but training. And I said, man, I'm going to actually take this and make an online course and train people. And then Blab showed up.
Yep.
So then I'm going back and retooling and creating the Blab and the YouTube. And so it's moving so fast right now. It's just really crazy. CES is going on right now. I have a lot of friends there. I just didn't have time to make it, but down in Las Vegas. And there's so much stuff happening. I've been reading what's the updates from CES, and there's so much stuff going on right now. It's hard to keep up. We're going to come back. We're going to take a short break. I didn't ask you about the why, but I want to ask you about the why you have your business. And then we're going to go on to your life and success principles. Sound good?
That sounds awesome.
Well, Rick, we're back from the break, and we have a lot to do now, but we got to find out why. Why are you an entrepreneur? Why did you create this kind of business?
You know, the truth is this, Bill. When I started my staffing company, I was on the heels of a divorce. I had 2 little girls. I was making $12 an hour, and I had some selfish reasons, to be frank, and I just had some kind of the dreamer reasons. Was I wanted to make more money. I wanted to spend more time with my kids. And, you know, I found myself, again, I was newly single. So I wanted to do stuff single guys did. I wanted to go mountain biking more. And I wanted to do it on my terms. So it was that simple. And I didn't quite look for a bigger picture the way I do now. But that was what drove me back in 2000 to really start doing contract work. And again, I hadn't even really started my company, but doing contract work through other people, just taking piecework as a nurse. And then I started my company, and just things just started happening. I didn't realize I was an entrepreneur or a business owner until the day I did.
Was your family anybody in your family an entrepreneur?
You know, no. If we define entrepreneur as having started a company or business, my parents did. But if you define it as have internalized that spirit, then I think a lot of my family members have that spirit. My parents did do a few business ventures, but to this day, actually, my mom lives in Reno. But to this day, actually, you know what? My mom she has owned her own company for the past 6 years. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's right there in Reno. It's called Stepping Stones, and she works with Stepping Stones in Reno, and she runs a few houses, and she works with people who are transitioning in life.
Seniors?
Actually, people who have, I'm trying to think of the actual word the state of Nevada calls it. Maybe some sort of mental problems where they can't quite function on their own, but they're functional enough to live in the world. So she runs a few houses, and she works with them, and she takes care of them. These people have jobs, and they have a place to go to at the end of the day.
I got it. I found Stepping Stones in Reno. Reno's a nice town. There's about 6 inches of snow on the ground right now. I've been shoveling snow every day in between editing. That's good. Have to look her up sometime. So your mom is here. She is. You get out to Reno once in a while?
I do. We get out there, my wife and my kids. We get out there. Well, my kids are grown up now, but we do get out there several times a year.
So what's your favorite thing about Reno, other than seeing your mom?
I'm glad you said that. I was going to say, you know what it is? It's so fresh and it's clean. Not that San Antonio is not, but there's just something very natural and pure about Reno whenever I'm there.
The air is dry. I live at 5,000 feet up in the east side of the Sierras, McClellan, Lawrence, and it's nice. It is nice. And you can get up to the Truckee, Tahoe pretty fast. It's a great place. A lot of hiking. If you like mountain biking, a lot of biking here, right?
No doubt. Yep.
So very good. So we're going to go on. You did a great job here. You've got 4 success principles. And the first one is be a good follower. Gosh, it sounds like you're a veteran in the Army. Be a good follower.
Yeah. I think that's where I really learned the importance of followership, and not to this in a very distinct way. You know, I've read your profile. You're military also. Today it means something much different to me, and that's it's my following of a higher power. So I've understood that being a follower is critical for me if I want to be the best that I can be. So it's morphed, and I would say that my definition of being a follower now is way different than when it was when I was 19 years old and flunking out of college. So
what's the difference?
I follow Christ now. That's the difference.
Very good.
Yeah, plain and simple. That's the difference. So,
no, I talked to a lot of people. Almost everyone says prayer and meditation. Those who are successful either meditate or they have prayer.
Yep. I do both. And you know what, Bill, I like to think that those two are interchangeable, because I do yoga every week with my wife. And there was a time where I felt like, you know, I wonder if what I'm doing in yoga, the meditation part, you know, the centering, I wonder if the man upstairs isn't going to look down on me the right way. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to say prayers when I'm in yoga. And I'm going to call it meditation, but here's what I'm really going to do is I'm in my own head, in my own space, and I'm praying to my belief system. And that's one of the beauties of yoga is is you get to do that. But yeah, it's definitely a part of my day every day.
Very good. Very good.
Not yoga,
The second is out hustle the other guy.
You know, somebody I was introduced to as a kid is Steve Prefontaine. My dad introduced me to Steve Prefontaine. In fact, my third brother, his name is Steven, and my parents wanted to name him Steve Prefontaine Martinez. And one of the things that was important about Steve Prefontaine and why it was embodied with my dad and in turn with me is because he never quits. It's Steve. Steve was like, if he was alive today, he would probably be like a Spec Ops guy or a Navy SEAL, because he could endure through pain. He never quit, and he out hustled everybody. And here's the thing, Bill, is I'm not the smartest or sharpest tool in the shed, but what I do have, it's I can keep going where other people can't. And when the other guys are taking the weekends off, you know what I'm doing? I'm burning and churning. So I believe in the power of hustle.
Yep. The difference between success and failure, you never know exactly what it is.
No.
But you can enhance your odds by working harder and they say working smarter and harder, but yeah. I think still working harder is something we can all do.
True that.
Start the day with gratitude.
Yeah, you know, we kind of touched on that, and I'm glad we did. But I start my days with two distinct things. As one, I start my day with some prayer and scripture, and it's sometimes just a few minutes, but that's how I set my mind and my heart. And another thing I do that's very tactical, I do a gratitude post every day, and I did it for an entire year, from July of 14 to July of 15. And then I stopped. And then on January 1st, I restarted a daily gratitude post. So today I'm going to be posting gratitude day 7. And it's not something I have to force myself to do, because I'm always grateful for something. If it's just the next breath or the ability to get on a show with Bill, it's always something. And it sets my mind, it sets the tone, and it gets me going for the day.
Excellent. Excellent. So, and finally, take care of your body.
Yeah, you know, so I'll fall back and harken back to my days as a registered nurse. I haven't practiced in 8 years, but I had the very distinct privilege and honor and job of taking care of people at their best and their worst. And not just in the military, but in civilian trauma rooms and ERs. And I thought, you know, so much of the things that affect us are within our control. And some things aren't, that's true, but most things are in our control, you know, like getting up and doing 10 push-ups. When I used to own my fitness centers, my CrossFit gyms, and I say this with love and respect, but in the new year, when somebody would come to me and say, you know, I need to lose 15 pounds, but I have this genetic thing, or I have whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, tell me something, Bob, did you do 10 push-ups today? And they're like, well, no, I didn't. And I'm like, well, that's something in your control. You know, maybe your genetics aren't, maybe the color of your hair isn't, but you can absolutely get off your big ass, drop to the ground, and do 10 push-ups. Otherwise, I'm going to see you in my other job. And that's with patches on your chest, a needle in your arm, and that's not a good place to be. So take care of your body. There is no freaking excuse for anybody. I worked at Walter Reed with kids who had been blown up, no arms, no legs. And all they had left was spirit. They would fight. So I have seen with my own eyes and my own hands that you don't even have to have arms and legs to be fit. You can do it. So take care of your body.
Oh, absolutely. I was a brigade staff officer in pretty good shape. Every once in a while, I'd air mobile into the into the mountains of the Hindu Kush. And being with those young soldiers, man, it was painful. But I got back down the hill in my second tour, and I was fourth tour as a staff officer in General Allen's in Kabul. But I got to work out doing CrossFit almost every day. And I had 3 Marines working with me from staff, the cook for General Allen and the 2 pilots. And I got in the best shape of my life doing CrossFit. So I'll always do CrossFit. Do you still do CrossFit?
I do. My backyard can probably rival a lot of CrossFit gyms. I have a rig, I have plates, you name it. I've got it.
You can do, you can do a lot of CrossFit without much. I have like a kettlebell, but I really wish I had a big rope. I could climb. I miss climbing that rope. So that's good. So what is your, I'm going to go into this a little bit more. For the average person, how much exercise should they do? And for the entrepreneur, an entrepreneur really needs to exercise. I mean, we have, the thing about being an entrepreneur is your time is your business. So most entrepreneurs I know work a lot more than most other people. They work all the time. They love what they do, but you have to stop and work out. What's the best routine? That's a good thing to do. What's the best routine for the average entrepreneur? What can they do? How much do they need to work out a day?
That's a great question, and it's so relative. I mean, if you were to ask me, so I did an Ironman just last year.
Wow.
So, and average is also such a relative term. So if we could just say, what should the average person do every day? The person who's got a really tight schedule, who is uber productive, it could be as simple, Bill, as just getting up from your desk, like my desk. I'm literally right now, I'm wearing my workout clothes because I'm, as soon as we're done, as soon as we're done, I'm already. I saw that. I'm like, that's since I used to live right near Downey in Southern Cal. But it could be as simple as going for a walk. Sometimes my wife and I, because we work together out of the house, we'll just go for a walk in the park, and there's a lot of hills. And, I do yoga once a week, sometimes twice, and it's an hour. And the fact is, I try to get, well, I don't try. I get at least 3 workouts in a week. And the duration, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And the easiest way for me, Bill, is I use a trainer. My wife and I go to a trainer together, so we're held accountable.
Good. So probably a trainer and to keep you accountable, something that nature, but you have to do it. Yeah. That's really good. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with your commercial, and you're going to tell us all about your job, your business, and how the listener can be benefited from your company.
Awesome.
Okay, Rick, it's all yours. It's your commercial. First of all, the listener wants to know, how do they get a hold of you and where do they find you? And then give us your commercial.
So the best ways to get a hold of me are go to my website. It's therickmartinez.com. I made it pretty simple. I believe in the power of personal branding. So it's therickmartinez.com. And the other way is I'm really active on Twitter. It's the ampersand, the @ and purpose hack. It's one word, purpose hack. And those are the 2 easiest ways.
Okay. Now what's your commercial?
Yeah. So my commercial is, I've really enjoyed the new endeavor of creating these online business courses, and I've made them wicked simple. And that's because, there's a certain genius in simplicity. And so my commercial is, in the next probably few months, if one was to go to therickmartinez.com and get on my mailing list, I'll be announcing the reopening of our course again. And it's really meant for the nascent early stage entrepreneur, the one who's just past the idea stage, but still humping and grinding to make that extra, let's just say, get to like 10K a month. Now, no promises, but I'm just saying that's usually what the goal is, to get them to that holy grail of a 6-figure income. And the commercial is, if you got on my list, I'm going to be announcing those things, and we'll be opening up the course, or a semblance of the course, in probably the next few months.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So one last question. You said when you started the show that you became an entrepreneur to support your wife.
I did.
So what's the rest of the story?
Yeah, it's part of, we talked about the 4 things, and one of them is followership. And, as men, as breadwinners, and insert whatever word that we want to choose, as the dads, the fathers, it's often straight on our shoulders that it's our job to make sure that we provide. And the thing is that my wife and I are kind of equal. We've done things together, and we started our companies together, and we sold our company, Bill. And her last day, here's the thing, is she had to stay on at the company. When we sold a few years ago, she was a very valuable asset. So she had to stay until January 1st of 2015, 1 year ago. So for 1 year, my wife, and I say I think she's in the other room right now in her office. So I know she's listening. She was trying to figure out what was next. We had been running our company for 15 years, identity. And Bill, she found it. She found it by empowering other women, because here's the fact. She was the engine behind the company. We had 600 employees. We were one of the SBA's top 100. We held some of the largest military medical staffing contracts in recent government history. And so it was a large company that she was there grinding every day. And so for the last year, she's been trying to figure out what her next thing is going to be. And I realized that what I had to do was stand behind her and help do what I could to help her the way she did with me for 15 years. And Bill, she found it. And she has a growing tribe of very powerful women who want to start their own gig, run their own life, and achieve the kinds of success and freedoms that honestly that she was able to do in her life. And she's teaching them how to do it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. We're going to have her on Timelines.
Yeah, she'd be a good interview.
Yesterday we had Mary Sheehan on, and her husband was on earlier, about 20 episodes ago, and she's a pharmacist. So we've got the nurse, the pharmacist. We're getting a whole element of consultants here that can help us out in all different ways. Yeah,
my wife's a nurse too. She's been a nurse longer than I have.
I was going to guess that. How'd you meet her?
We met. So this was in she was single, I was single, and we worked together in the ER. I worked night shift, she worked days, and we would always cross like literally 2 shifts in the night. And we got to know each other just as friends. And, a year later, it blossomed into a relationship. But we met at work.
As a young special forces officer, and all our team docs, all had to go to San Antonio. So I know what it's like in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Rick, stick around because we're going to have you open it up for questions, and we're going to continue to ask a few more. I'm going to continue to ask questions for YouTube, but this is the end of the iTunes portion, the Apple fun stuff. And we're going to continue on. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll be tuning out of iTunes here, but staying on Blab for both YouTube and more questions. Okay, we're back up on YouTube, and I'll open this up if anyone wants to jump in. That a good story. It's funny. I have this scheduled out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Always fill up fast, and I do it 3 weeks in advance. And we are all filled up, but I have an opening tomorrow. So is your wife open tomorrow?
I just saw her doing the hearts on Blab, so I know she's listening right now. In fact, I see her profile picture up in your screen, so. She's actually heard you, Bill. She's listening.
She could come up if she wants to right now and say hi.
Lisa, I know she's listening.
Because this is just the YouTube after the show, the Blab. So CrossFit, you ran those CrossFit gyms. How long did you run them?
We did that for 7 years.
That's a long time. And you had more than one?
We did. We ended up with 2 of them.
What years?
We opened our first one in 2007. And our second one in 2010 about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my son goes to a CrossFit gym. He's a Coast Guard pilot, but he still goes to CrossFit gyms outside the Coast Guard. He actually built a CrossFit gym at his base in New Orleans, Navy base. He actually built it and put it together in a hangar and got the money. And he does a CrossFit. He tried to get him to send him to the CrossFit training, get the the Coast Guard to pay. I don't think they ever did. He may have wanted to do it by himself, but he's been real active, a lot of competition. You talked about you went in an Ironman triathlon. Where was it?
I did Ironman Arizona last year in 2015. Oh, wait, 2014. I'm sorry. So 2015 was my 1-year anniversary.
Where was it in Arizona?
It was in Tempe. I think Tempe, right outside Phoenix.
Where'd you guys swim?
There's the Tempe, it's the Tempe River, but it's man-made. It's right next to the University of Arizona. I think right there, it goes right through the center of town.
Wow, that must be an interesting place. How go back and forth or something?
Yeah, it was. It was a great. No, actually, you know what? It's long. It is a river. Sorry about that phone. The phone. We're going to turn it off.
We're on you. It's long. I was going to say, we lost our Ironman here in Reno, Tahoe. We just lost. They're not going to bring it back this year because 2 years ago we had a fire.
I was there.
Oh, for the fire? I remember when it was shut down and canceled. I was up there too.
I was in the water, Bill. That was my Ironman. I was there in the water. I had already warmed up and ready to go. And I have photos of when they announced to the athletes that they were canceling it. And my family and friends were there. They took photos of me when they announced it, of my face. And I was standing there in the water when they canceled it. So
I was down at the village. Yeah, it was smoky down in the village. It was a bad fire. It was a terrible fire. I don't think we're going to have that problem now in the future. We have so much snow. But this last cycle, my wife and one of my daughters was up there volunteering, working Ironman in the village. And then I was down the same weekend. I don't know how this happened. They had the Reno air races. So I've worked 2 years in a row in the Reno air races, and with my daughter, one of my daughters, in the pits, and have access. So that's a big volunteer weekend for us.
Yeah, it was a blast. Don't get me wrong. I was disappointed it was canceled, but it was we spent about 6 days there in Tahoe.
I've done a lot of things. I can't imagine doing Ironman though. How long does that swim? Especially in like Tahoe.
Yeah, the swim is 2.4 miles, and it's no joke. There's no doubt. But I mean, I've read your profile, Bill. You're no slouch yourself, you know. So
you start out in the water, right? You start with the water first.
Yep, it's a swim, then a bike, then a run.
I could probably, I don't know, how long's the run? 26? Is it?
26, it's a marathon, 26.2 miles.
Gosh, I think I need to do a marathon first. My son's done about 2 or 3. There's some bridge. My son swam across. Is it Mobile Bay? He did that swim. The Coasties are all good swimmers. My son's not necessarily a great swimmer. He's a captain of the wrestling team, so he's not a lot of fat on him.
Yeah,
he's all muscle.
Cool.
Hey, Mike's wife was on yesterday, Mary.
I was just wanting to tell Rick, tell your wife not to be apprehensive, because my wife was so happy she did it, and I kind of pushed her from behind. But as maybe Bill can attest, she comes across pretty good on screen. So I'm sure your wife would too. So and nobody bites, nobody bites.
I love her webpage too. I think she got a good webpage for a starter. You have to have that platform. Hey, Rick, let's talk about the technical stuff. What were the challenges when you went from having own a CrossFit gym into this world of technology? I think those huge. I think it's a tough thing to do. I was in computers for 25 years when I wasn't doing military stuff, design, build, construction, using CAD, all the different systems. In the military, I spent the last 5 years, we all have computers. We all do our stuff, and we have networkers. I had guys working for me at pretty high level in computers. That said, it's still a tough transition in this new world to learn everything you have to learn. So what were the steps you took to creating your course and learning what you had to learn? What did you do? One day you went, I'm CrossFit. Now I'm going to go and be a coach, trainer, and create a course. That must've been tough. How'd you do it?
Yeah, it was a steady transition. It wasn't like, it wasn't from hot water to cold water. I mean, it was over the few years. And like I shared, I had been doing facilitation. So I've traveled the world, and I'm part of different mastermind groups. And in the mastermind groups, I've met people in the tech world and who are in the course building world and direct marketing sales. And so I started to become aware. And also with our CrossFit gyms, we used Infusionsoft, and not many CrossFit gyms use that.
Wow, you used it when you had the CrossFit gym.
Yeah, and we used it. We used Office Autopilot before it became Entreport. So I had been using some sort of online system, CRMs or automation systems back in the day. I just didn't know that it was that powerful of a tool back in 2008 and 2009. Are
you still using Infusionsoft?
I'm not. I'm using Entreport now.
Entreport. What made you change?
Well, Infusionsoft, again, and I have nothing against Infusionsoft. It was back then, our gym was growing, and we started adding more stuff. Like we used a program called Mind Body Online, which helped us manage our membership and stuff like that. And then we had to get a plugin to sell t-shirts, and then a plugin for this. And I got confused. So we ended up, for the bigger question, the bigger thing is we sold our gyms and we closed them. So I didn't have any need for any of those systems anymore. So when I started to think about this online course and seeing people who were doing it and wanting to really package what I was doing in an online medium, I looked back into, some of the more powerful, robust systems, and Entreport it's one of the up and coming ones. In fact, it's on the forefront. And so true to what my wife and I do is when we do something, we do it all in. So she went and got certified out at Entreport headquarters. I went to one of their boot camps and got to know not only the founders, but the teams there. And I was really impressed. So that was one of the reasons I love the people at Entreport. And that's why I'm using them now.
So the people you're training and people who attend your course, what type of businesses are they from?
So there's two types of businesses that really emerged. There's quite a few. There's a friend of mine. There's a fellow in the tech space. He's a web developer. He's kind of one of those, and I say this with love because I'm at heart a nerd as well. But he's one of those nerdy geeks. We have there's fitness business owners. We have some CrossFit gym owners. And what really was pleasantly surprising, Bill, is we had some network marketers join the course. And what I discovered was that this course is really, really applicable to network marketing. And there's quite a few of them in this course. And it's like, wow, this type of viral marketing and using online tools instead of the old fashioned, nothing wrong with it, pressing flesh, belly to belly thing. This is scaling businesses rapidly.
Right. The online environment and the CRM, everything tied together. And the technology is changing the way we can communicate and talk to each other.
Right.
You never know when you're going to go viral and when things are going to happen. So what's your next, what are your plans in the next few years?
Well, the plan is www.joinlisamartinez.com. That is our plan. That is where all of my energy is. That is where my wife is. And it's, the plan is joinlisamartinez.com. And we are rapidly scaling her business from our living room. And I believe on some level, that's what a lot of modern day entrepreneurs want to do, is they want to live their entrepreneurial life on their terms. And again, hustle and grind, but I'd rather do it from my home office, like right here, from Carmel, California, which I'll be in next week for the whole week. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, Bill, is we've launched this online and we're building this very quickly, and it's joinlisamartinez.com, and that's where our efforts are at.
Why are you going to Carmel?
I'm there for a retreat. There's a bunch of entrepreneurs going to be there, about, I want to say maybe 30 of us. And it's led by a fellow named Philip McKernan. And he's in Ireland, lives in Canada. And I've been to some of his stuff before. And it's a private retreat in Carmel.
Nice. Do you know where you're going to stay in Carmel?
We're staying at Carmel Valley Ranch.
Okay. Carmel Valley. What a nice place.
Yeah.
I have a good friend who's a West Pointer who retired there, not retired, but he went there to start his business.
I love it. I used to hang out. I used to live in Salinas, right outside Monterey Bay.
Mm-hmm. Carmel Valley the reason why he picked Carmel Valley to raise his family and his boys, they both went to the academies, is because of the quality of health in the valley. It's like one of the healthiest valleys in the world because the climate right there in that climate, it's just that one little valley. It's like a perfect climate.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous there.
That's nice. One of my thoughts to move to Reno is we're in a tax-free state. I love where we live. It's a little bit more expensive. Actually, housing is not overly cheap here, but it's a great place to live because you work where you play somewhat. But my thought was that I could always buy something small, even though I have a big house in California, along the coast in California, or have a retreat or other places to go and visit, as long as you don't stay there. And I saw that down in Southern California, we're multi-generation, and a lot of our friends are very wealthy. My grandparents and parents' friends. One of them was one of the top executives at Disney. He had a $10 million house in Laguna, and as soon as he could, he bought a condominium in Las Vegas in a high-rise and made that his residence. And just comes back and has smaller houses. He has a place up in Montana, place on the beach. They're not big, but there's fun little places to go and visit. And
yeah.
So that's good. So we're going to have to work at getting your wife on, and I will have this up. I like to get it up sooner than I got up yesterday. I usually get it up in the evening on iTunes because I'm trying to be disciplined enough to get it done, but that's not really happening. So I'm going to try to get this up early. I do have a couple questions. So get your studio school. Okay. You talked about the online marketing business. We actually have somebody who I work with closely who is just finished the Infusionsoft advanced training. And he has, in fact, they sponsor the show, the Share the Oils. They have an online, they have a lot of different businesses, but one of them is a marketing business, and they do real well, direct marketing. And he's trying to figure out ways to create 60 Days to Silver is his course. So he's giving me a hard time about my course, but his course is behind mine. But he interesting guy, but he won't come on and do a lot of the stuff that we're doing here. You know, the relationship online stuff. But 60 Days Silver. So, and then you want to finish with a couple of little comments or any tricks or ideas you could recommend to people other than joining your course, of course, but something you want to give out, some hacks, a couple good hacks for those folks who are direct marketers who want to figure out how to use this new medium to create value. I'm going to ask you one more thing. I have a couple sources of income, and my wife's a real estate broker. I got a retirement, by the way. I got the weirdest retirement from the military you'll ever see. I went back on active duty to finish off for 5 years. I had orders, to finish off my active. And at 17.45, they wanted me to take over second in charge of human train team system in Afghanistan. But I had to be in 06 to do that. I was a lieutenant colonel. So they cut a legal set of orders and converted me to a GS-15.
Wow.
I didn't want that to happen. I protested it. Yeah, I'm Department of the Army war zone. I said, this is ridiculous. But it was good pay. But anyway, I ended up, it took me 3 years, but I turned that back in and got my active duty retirement.
So did you retire as, I guess that is kind of, as a military officer or as a GS-15?
No, if I was smart, I would have done one more tour and then retired as a GS-15 and bought back my West Point time and all the different time. But I decided to retire as a lieutenant colonel, and I got money before I was 60 that way too. I got instant retirement. It's the most bizarre retirement. There's some really special little niche there. So I got an active duty retirement at 17.45 years. I got the gray card and everything. And the only thing is I don't get TRICARE for my family until I'm 60. It's really weird. It's some kind of, during the war, a lot of weird things happen because we had the surge and we needed folks left and right. We're doing all sorts of different programs. I was going to ask you another question. You talked about your contracting. I think that'd be a great job of running contracts when you were doing contracts. Did you contract anybody overseas? I really didn't see any nurses who were contractors overseas, but I would really think there'd be a benefit to doing that.
We never did. And there's no doubt there's contracts available, but the whole dynamic of contracting overseas, it's not just through the government, it's in foreign countries now, right. Like in Germany, like Launchstool and those big hospitals, but they just weren't hurdles we wanted to go over. We were attacking a very specific niche market here in the States, and opportunities did come up. We did contract in Alaska, but that's still technically U.S. And that's as far away as we did. We did, I think it was Fort Wayne right up in Alaska where we sent nurses and doctors to.
That's not, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was thinking they played all sorts of game overseas. One of the reasons why I became a GS-15, and there's more to the story, I just remembered because 2 days before I was deployed as a lieutenant colonel into this position, they pulled me off, and then they made me go to work for BAE for 4 months and then the GS-15. And I processed, I got an extra 30 days. And when I finally got done because I went right into these missions for the next 3 years. So I had no time to go out and protest and go back to Personnel Center and I sent my package to the Personnel Center, and they said that Fort Bragg and Civil Military Operations completely cut illegal orders and did everything wrong. So once I got to them, it was okay, but I didn't know for about 3 years, and who knows, but it was a mess. The war was a mess. But one of the games they were playing is we had limits on how many boots on the ground we could have at any one time. So what they would do, if they could convert somebody to a Department of the Army civilian or something of that nature who was a reservist, there were only 15 reservists in one of my brigades I was in. They did that. They would start doing those things and started bringing more contractors to replace soldiers. Right now at Bagram, they have a contract defense force that protect the perimeter.
Wow.
Because they're capped at like 10,000 soldiers, and they want to use special forces soldiers whenever possible. So there's probably a lot of opportunity still in contracting.
I have no doubt. Yeah.
What I could ask, it must, once you crack the nut on doing government contracts, I would think you'd stay in that because it's tough to do all the things that you have to do to get a government contract.
Yeah. There's a lot of merit to what you just said. And for me, it just got back to one of your original questions is your why. So our whys and our reasons change, and they definitely have changed for me. And one of the biggest ones was working smarter, not harder. I'm all a believer in the hustle, but I'd rather do this, like right now, your listeners might be wondering, is Rick wearing pants or not? And I can't do that at a traditional
Don't stand up. We don't want to know.
Yeah, but I can't do that at a traditional job. And I'm like, I want to leave people with that mystique. Is Rick wearing pants or not? And so I believe that the successes we've experienced as a government contractor, as a company, my wife and I can experience tenfold working from home. And a lot of it isn't even because of our business, Bill. It's because right over there in the other room is my wife, my business partner, my life partner. And we thought about it, believe me. Do we want to stay in the government, the federal contracting game? Because she got really good at it. She's been asked multiple times to potentially come on board with other federal contracting companies because we got good at the bids. We got good at responding to bids, RFPs. We built up connections within the contracting world and the military structure, Air Force, Navy, Marines, all of them. And so it just wasn't fueling us. And so that's why we zigged when everybody else zagged, and here we are. So the question is, does Rick have pants on or not?
I was into a big fat position where I was making great money as much as the vice president of the United States. And I just said, I want to be with my family, and sort of the same why like you. I mean, I should have really done at least one more tour. I was going to do another tour, but the family didn't want me to do it. And I wanted to drag them out of California, and that was hard enough, believe it or not. Now they love Reno. They don't want to go back. So hey, let's stay in touch. Let's definitely tomorrow try to get your wife up. She can, if she wants to come on a blab or test a blab, she can do a private blab. You got my phone number.
Okay.
It's you can call me on my cell phone anytime. My cell phone's like right by me most of the time.
Yeah.
If I'm live, I'll answer it. If not, just leave a voicemail. I'll get right back to you. And it's really good. It's good to just come up because this show is a really good a platform to practice. Hey, I'm going to run something past you. What do you think? I'm creating this course called Netcasting 101. And basically Blab came in. I'm thinking about doing the first course, Netcasting 101, and just give it away for free. Because what I'm trying to tell people is just get up and start Blab, just play around Blab, listen to Blab, go on other people's Blab, then create a little show yourself on Blab, upload it to YouTube, and call it a day for a while. Then if you want to take it to the next level, we go up into iTunes, I'm going to charge you for that, because the best thing you can do is take my short course, take the books, but spend an hour with me and let you hook you up on your first iTunes. Actually put a little recording up onto iTunes, because there's so many pieces you have to put together to get there.
I bet.
That sound like a good idea? That's like my ultimate lead magnet, free course.
That is, especially Bill, because what you and I are doing right now, what's going on with Blab, these are like the cutting edge trends, how to get your message out to the world quicker, faster, simpler, and to be able to scale it rapidly. And there's no doubt what you just said is there's some definite value in that. That'd be a great lead magnet.
And yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking, because I sort of got the imposter syndrome. Like, I think Blab, it doesn't take long to learn Blab and get it up and start playing with YouTube. If you can do that and get all your social media around it sort of right, that it's not that hard to do. And I think, well, here's Jonathan. He's probably going to yell at me, Bill, what are you doing, man? Jonathan and I have the number two show in WordPress. I'm sort of proud of that. That's like the most, I spent a gazillion, how much time and effort we spent to get there?
Too much.
We're number two in WordPress.
I just want to say, Rick, that your mother is a great lady and she's done great work in Reno, and she's just a fantastic human being, Rick. And you must be very proud of your mum.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's know more about your mom. Jonathan, I looked online. So how did you know her mom?
Well, I've supported what she's done in Reno, but I don't talk about it. But she's helped so many people in Reno that, and she's a true person of faith and just a great human being, Rick. And I just want to tell you that you should be really proud of your mum.
I am. Yeah, no doubt.
I think I found the website, but I'm trying to find something about your mom. But I find the website.
I don't know if she has a web. I'm trying to think.
Is it Stepping Stones?
Yeah, it's Stepping Stones, and
it's a good website. Nice.
Yeah, she runs a couple homes there, and she takes care of some people. And I can't think of the type of person, but they're not like people in like a rehab. These are people who like let me just put it this way. Again, I'm just apologizing up front because I'm not quite sure. But
A lot
have
of
you
kids.
guys seen the movie Rain Man?
Yeah, Burning Man.
Okay. So not Burning Man, Rain Man with.
Oh yeah. Got you.
So the people that live in our home are like Rain Man. They lead normal lives. They're grown adults, but they just need some supervision and help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Autism. I have a nephew who has some autism.
Yes.
Well, it's also people. Well, you need to go, folks. Go to the website. Learn. It's a great organisation. Rick's mum has done amazing work, and she's just a great person. And it's an honour to meet you, Rick, and give the best regards to your mum.
This is cool. Your mom's gonna have to watch this now, all the way through. She's gonna watch the YouTube version.
I know, right?
That's good. You learn, and that's a small world, 1 degree apart.
No doubt.
So you say you're on Blab, right? How many times have you been on Blab?
I want to say this is maybe my 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not a lot. So, and this seems to be coming up. I do about 2 to 4 podcast interviews a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
And there's more. It seems like over the last just 6 weeks, I've been getting calls and they're saying, let's do a Blab instead. So now I'm on Blab and I listen to it.
Within a week after I saw this platform, I started transitioning all of my podcasts to Blab. So I think I'm one of the early adapters about 130 days ago. And
Wow.
the initial podcaster said, it's not perfect, the perfect sound. But now you're seeing this whole new breed of podcasters starting to come on Blab, going up to YouTube. I think some people may be calling it podcast. Maybe they're not going all the way through into the iTunes. I'm not sure. Hey, how did you get on? How many a week shows do you do?
A month. I'm interviewed on about. Right now we're targeting 4 a month, and we've been hitting four interviews a month.
How'd you find this show?
Jessica Rhodes.
Oh, real Jessica. Thank you, Jessica.
Yep.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yep.
I like Jessica a lot.
I've worked with Jessica Rhodes and her team now. My wife Lisa and I have since last year. So she's been instrumental for us.
She throws a lot of veterans this way. I really like to find veterans and put them up, give a little veteran call out. That's good. That's good. Well, I'll let you go and get back to work. Let's stay in touch. I've got to go. So you think I should go with this free course? Anybody else want to vote on it up there? It's Washington. A lot of these folks know me. Free course for the first part, and then we'll figure out how to monetize. I know my good friend Ron with the creating 60 Days of Silver is going to probably yell at me, free. So, hey, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. You're welcome to stay along. Anybody wants to come up? Any plans for today? Yesterday, I did not get my work done. Let me put this up. Look at this. We got some little, see if we can do that. What is this? I'm trying to see. Jonathan, put this up. With the Zek house, tree house. Okay. Jonathan, did I just bring this question? Jonathan's back on.
Yeah, just to say, Bill, I've interviewed Zach from Treehouse, and he's on for the 21st show.
Okay.
And he was filling in your online form. I left him filling in the online form. So you should get all the details in the next half hour, Bill.
Okay. Well, I'll get the link going. I'm trying to take that online you did and put it in Infusionsoft. We got Roxanne. So one last question for Rick.
I'll have to interview his mom.
Listen to Roxanne's got a good story. Good story coming there.
I have epilepsy, and 30% of people with autism have epilepsy also.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I'll have to interview her.
Yeah.
The autism, I look at it as,
I'll be right back.
I mean, it's not a disability. Amazing people have autism because of everything they can do. It's just amazing. Because one kid I've read about, he teaches chemistry. He's not even like 15 and he has autism because he can't learn anything else, but he can teach chemistry. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
that's really interesting.
I don't think of them as having a disability.
Well, Roxanne, I'm going to try something unique. Sometimes I stay on until 10:30, but Rick, I don't want to hold up your time. I know you're probably scheduled for 1 hour. But congratulations on finishing up your first course in the future. Sounds like it's you have a lot of different things you can do.
I appreciate it, Bill. And Roxanne, it was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, yes.
And next time
I
you're in
wasn't
Reno,
here for long, but nice to meet you.
honestly, Rick, next time you're in Reno, give me a call or just send me an email and let me take you over to the Stonehouse or to Squeezed In or any place you want to go for breakfast, brunch after the show.
I will, Bill. And my mom travels a lot, but if she's there, I'm bringing her and my wife too. So,
okay, sounds good.
All right, y'all have a fantastic rest.
Jonathan is back. You can hang up if you want to, but we'll see what Jonathan's back here.
No,
All right, y'all have a fantastic afternoon.
If you come to Reno, I'd love to meet you, Rick, and your mum.
Jonathan can split the bill. We'll split the bill.
Yeah.
We're gonna
live on the East Coast.
We're gonna have a blab party going live in Reno.
Yeah. Hey, how many podcasts can you do what we're doing here?
What do you mean?
Well, just it's now. It's happening right now. It's live.
Yeah, that's a great point because podcasts, they record them and then it's like we're gonna post this in like 8 weeks, and I find myself having to talk like I'm in the future sometimes on the podcast.
I started doing that. One last thing before you go. Everyone knows who John Lee Dumas is. He was a captain in the Army. He's done amazing things with podcasts, but he does it like 6 to 8 weeks in advance. Thanks, Roxanne. I said, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try to do a daily live and get it up the same day. I said by 12 o'clock, but it seldom happens by 12 because I get a flood of phone calls and work right after we get off the line. But I'm trying something new. It's going to be up today. Yesterday's was up yesterday. If your wife comes on tomorrow, hers will be up tomorrow.
Awesome. I'm going to be looking for this today, and we're going to be promoting it, pushing it out on our social channels as well.
Well, we're going to close up early because usually go till 10:30, and I need to put that out to people. I'm still developing it. But yeah, we have, and the listeners grow and they'll continue to grow. And we'll look forward to you on Blabs.
Awesome, Bill. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Peace.
So we just finished up with Rick. That was kind of nice. Thanks for everyone for coming in the live audience. When Jonathan, you're going to have to split. We'll have to both take them to Squeezed In. There's Jonathan's up good. We can do some planning. Here's the planning session.
No, I've got to get some work, Bill, but maybe we'll meet up on Friday tomorrow for a chat.
We're up to date, aren't we, this afternoon?
Yes, but maybe we can meet up tomorrow for coffee and a chat.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time. Yeah. Hey, but I got.
I just want to say that Rick is just a fantastic man, and his mother is an amazing woman that does help so many people in Reno, and she's just a fantastic human being. All right.
Hey, let's plug today's show. I got to open up my calendar. Today is January 7th, and today's show is WP Tonic. What are we talking about? Who's coming on today? It's at 4:30.
Well, it's the sexy boss, isn't it?
We got sexy boss. Yeah, we got the sexy boss coming on at 4:30. It's power users of WordPress this month, and she's coming. But we're going to try to move that back to 5:45 right after this.
Yes, we have agreed that, Bill.
And what did you say? Who you said someone's coming on? What day were they coming on?
The 21st at 5:45.
21st. Okay, it hasn't come through yet.
He was filling in the form. I left him filling it in.
Is it a timelines interview? Oh no,
he's filled in that form on timelines.
So it's 5:45. He's coming on.
Yeah, he's filled in that form.
Okay. No. The reason why I'm doing a different form for WP Tonic. That's good.
I know, but he's filled the form in that original link for timelines. So you check it, you should get it.
Okay.
Right. And she hasn't confirmed, but hopefully Rebecca Gills will be joining us again next week.
Okay, that's the number 2 show on WordPress on iTunes. That is huge. I can't believe we did that. Did you pay off somebody, or what did you do?
Of course.
Did you go to the Bay Area to Apple? We're always saying, did people pay off people to get there? What happened? I mean, we sped up the website.
Yeah, well, that helps, doesn't it?
I don't know. Apple is magic. What they do to get the SEO, I don't get it.
I think we're also very consistent with, it's the same. It goes up there on Sunday. You don't normally miss the Sunday, do you?
No.
And
I usually hit it that night. I did. I was a few hours late this week because I accidentally stuck it on the wrong RSS feed. But that's okay. Still a lot of shows.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Hey, Jonathan, how we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Anybody who says they know the tricks to like new and noteworthy and all this sort of things, I mean, I guess there's things you can do to enhance, but we've worked on it a long time, and just being consistent, putting out a decent show. And I think the website may have something to do with it.
Yeah, well, I put a lot of effort into that website, haven't I?
I'm never going to get them straight, but that's not on DigitalOcean, is it?
Yeah.
That's the only one. So MailRight's not on DigitalOcean.
I'm testing at the present moment.
DigitalOcean.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Hey, did you get a higher bill this week for DigitalOcean? I got a $12 bill.
Yeah, well, that's.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, keep figuring it.
Now, remember, we got the small bills the first time, and then I got 12. Is that both of them together? Is that the usage and the back
panel?
You
got a cap plan bill, and you only got billed partially because you started it halfway during the month. But it will be around that figure.
Yep.
From now on.
Your telephone number was randomly selected by Expedia to receive 3 all-inclusive vacations for a promotional family price of only $9.
I've so long. Now I'm getting one of those every day. One of those calls. Crazy. I put my number out there too much.
Yeah, you do.
I'll block it. So, Mike, what's up today? What are you doing today to make money?
Hey,
today. I decided to give away my product.
Well, that's not all bad. I mean, it's always about value. And who is it? Do you know who Kim Garst is? Are you familiar with her at all?
I'll look her up. I'll know her in a second.
She's really huge with Twitter. I mean, she's a tremendous marketer. I went to her program in Chicago back in September. Just a great lady.
I know who she is.
And they do kind of a $7, $47, $297, and she went through their whole process, the mindset behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty interesting. So
I think I'm just going to give away, get on, because most people, and then I'm going to charge, and I'm going to do for the second part of the course. If you want to go up in iTunes, here, take the course. I'm going to give you an hour of my time initially for the first folks to actually go through and set it up for them on Zoom.
Well, here's my little opinion on that, and I don't sell courses or anything, but and I remember talking about this when I used to go and do talks about LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I said people would, there was always that mindset in sales that when you found something that worked, you didn't want to share it with anybody.
Right.
Like if you're a life insurance agent or real estate and you found a little niche, you found a little way to get clients, you didn't want to share it with anybody. And, the mindset was totally wrong. And so I would tell people, hey, they would say, why are you sharing all this stuff about LinkedIn? I says, well, because I want to, but then I know human nature is only 1% of you are even going to take advantage of it because it was free. And I remember in Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon Hill was talking about one of the people that he was counseling and giving free information, and the guy all he did was complain, and his business never grew. And once Napoleon Hill started to charge him, his business took off. So the point being is, even if it's $7, $10, $12, a little value, because you're free. People who's not going to sign up for free, and then they don't take it serious.
Then they get junk. Yeah.
So
what I might do, I might open it up for free for a while and see what happens. And then give the people who already paid the master's course, which is going to bring you into iTunes.
Yeah. So
but things are changing. The things you need to know though is once you get set up on Blab and doing YouTube, after that, you need to make sure that you get all your platforms right. That means your Google Plus Hangout, your Google Plus, your Twitter. They all need to connect. Your artwork. There's a lot of services and support you can shoot into there. There's just a lot of parts. So,
right, and especially with all this, and I don't know, have you heard this new platform, Mevi.com?
No, I was supposed to sign up for it yesterday. I'm going to do it right now. Mevi.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people doing them, and I haven't opened it up yet, but it's like, holy cow,
Let's sign up right now.
It's MEVEE.com.
MEVE. Rob told me about this. I think this is the 7th day. So Mevi.com, and it's really new. So here's a problem. I did come up on the site. It says live streaming platforms that capture. Okay. And it says search. So where do you go to sign up? How do you sign up?
I don't know. I said I haven't gotten this far, but let me just, while you're doing that, we were talking yesterday about a topic or something in relation to that, and I couldn't think of it. And it was events that changed your that changed the direction in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that could be kind of cool, you know, because going back to kind of my wife's situation, that accident.
She said it didn't affect her that much, it sounded like, but it did.
Oh, yeah. No, she said it. I said it didn't. But I was talking to her about that, and she says, hell no, it said it changed you a whole lot. And I go, well, you know, I'm looking from the inside out, you know, so. But, yeah, events that changed your, what I got, mission? Or I had mission. I can't even read my own handwriting. Mission or direction in life. So I thought that would be kind of a cool, you know, you get some pretty neat stories. But anyways.
So I'm on Mevi right now. Maybe Rob can help me out here. And I cannot see where to join it unless they shut it down. It just says Mevi, light search. I'm going to put search join, Join. I do like it.
That could be because maybe they got, you know, because I saw some major periscopers and blabbers that were talking about it. So
anyway, right now it doesn't look like I can join. Doesn't look like there's any way. Go up on Mevi. It's down there. Go up and open it up. Rob, can you confirm that I can't join? That I'm just like stupid here.
Let me look on my my end here.
Mevi news, music, sports, fashion, lifestyle. It doesn't look like there's any way to join. I don't even know what it does. How it does it. Developers, business.
Mevi, the live streaming platform.
Oh, maybe that's join. I found it. I went to about, and there's a join there, except it's not doing anything when I hit join. Unless they're getting too much traffic. It's got to be expensive to run these things. It's got
About Us. Yeah, I got the About Us page here. Join. I
found it, but it's not. When you click it now, it's not.
Yeah. There's nothing going on there. Yeah, it could very well be that they got overwhelmed here.
Too bad I didn't join the other day.
Hey guys,
what's up, Mr. Hicks?
Good interview.
I like that's getting there. You know, the key is you just do it. You just keep on doing it, and you do it and do it. Tomorrow's open. Hey, tomorrow if it's open, I want to do a 15-minute on something that can help people, something to start their business. You know, every day, just like
You're gonna give away cash?
Yeah, I thought about it. My wife is trying to do super open houses where she's trying to. They're talking about giving away a $50 gift card every time they do an open house. Some high-end houses too. So it's not working right now. Mevi is not working. Front-end developer. What is it? Social media.
I've started a broadcast today. I'll do one maybe this afternoon.
So you can actually do it.
Yeah. I've only done one so far.
It's funny, Jonathan, I'm trying to automate. I'm trying to streamline the whole process of how you schedule for doing shows, because Jonathan puts a lot of time into Wtonic trying to get somebody on and coordinating it and testing them. So I'm trying to do, because I've got some other tools that trying to streamline how people get on the show. You know, it's funny with Jonathan. Just working with programmers is unique.
So do you have somebody for tomorrow's show or not?
Right now I don't have anybody. I think we've had 21 days. It would be nice if Rick's wife shows up, comes on. I can't believe, Mike, your wife would be hesitant to come on because she's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's in that business. That's her business.
I told you. I think I started to tell you when she went down this road. It was oil. It was water and vinegar. What is it? Water and vinegar. I just walked away. I could not. She did. You know, we weren't a good combination as far as being able to.
No, you can get it. You can talk. Like I just listen to because that's what our bread and butter is, that phone. If you're in sales and marketing, you have to pick that up. Unless my wife should pick it up when I'm in the show. I should give my wife. I think I'm gonna give my wife the phone when I'm in a show and have her pick it up. Because if you get a call, it's usually gold.
You're still actually called. Did you mean to still record?
I'm okay. We can record. We might come up with a great idea. I can turn off the recording if you want to.
Take it off the recording for a second.
I'm going to turn it off. So Rob and I are back to close out the show, to close out our blab. This is the blab. It's on YouTube. It's evergreen. And it was a fun show. Thanks, Rob. We're still looking for somebody for tomorrow.
Cool.
All right. Thanks. Take care.